Andrew Tucker, and welcome to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, all my boxing fans? We already know Manny Pacquiao versus Ugas, August the 21st. You know, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. Honestly, Pacquiao has a chance to get back the WBA Super title. The Super Belt. The WBA Super. So he has a chance to get his belt back, which is good. Yes, I'm just a little bit upset, dog, that we can't get Pacquiao versus Spence. August 21st. It's right around the corner, and it's a big fight. It was a highly anticipated matchup, highly anticipated bout, and we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it August the 21st. Instead, the replacement for Errol Spence Jr. we all know is your Dennis Ugas, which I believe he was fighting Madonna on the undercard. Which also suffered an eye injury. Madonna. But so now, this is a big fight for Dennis Ugas. It's a big fight for him, fighting the legendary, fighting the legend, like Manny Pacquiao, fighting a legend and a great fighter like Manny Pacquiao. It's a big opportunity. It's a big opportunity because Ugas beats Manny Pacquiao, his stock will rise, and you can honestly say he has beaten one of the best fighters in the world. A legend, 8 division world champion. It's a very big name on his resume. That can take his career to a whole nother level. And I'm talking about your Dennis Ugas. Take his career to a whole nother level. This is a legacy fight. Ugas is WBA Super champion, WBA welterweight champion. He holds the major belt. And so Pacquiao has a chance, an opportunity. He has a chance, an opportunity to defeat Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people favor Manny Pacquiao to beat Dennis Ugas. Dennis Ugas is a tough fighter, and also dangerous. He's tough. He's a very skilled fighter. So no, this is not an easy fight for Manny Pacquiao. I favor Pacquiao to win, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough fight for Pacquiao. But you better believe it's going to be a tough fight for Dennis Ugas, because Pacquiao still has the hand speed, the footwork. He still has that ferociousness. he still has that explosiveness. He's still very elusive. Very fundamentally sound, very skilled. He's declined a little bit, but he's still sharp enough to compete with these younger fighters. Just keeping it real, from observing, paying close attention to Manny Pacquiao, looking how he's training, looking how he's moving, look at the things that he's doing. Even at 42 years old, he's still sharp enough to compete with these younger fighters. He's been training. He stay busy. He stay in the gym. He stay training. At Manny Pacquiao work ethic is out of this world. So he's one of those type of fighters that's going to always stay in shape. It's a very big fight. Now Errol Spence Jr. we know he suffered the injury. He suffered the injury. I'm wishing Errol Spence Jr. a speedy recovery. I heard the surgery went good. And as you can see right here, this is what Errol Spence Jr. had to say on Twitter. This is what he tweeted. I came back from worse. Went to 3 different doctors. All said the same thing. I'll be back for the winter for sure. I was taught to get through and keep going. So these are the words coming from Errol Spence Jr. I know you guys have seen a picture on, have seen a picture, of, Errol Spence Jr. after surgery, and the thing is, I'm hearing that the surgery, the surgery went well. Like I said before, I'm wishing Errol Spence Jr. a speedy recovery. He will be back in the ring, and I believe Errol Spence Jr. will face the winner of Manny Pacquiao and your Dennis Ugas. I believe he will face the winner. I believe he will be the next fight for either Ugas or either Manny Pacquiao. But man, I give Errol Spence Jr. the utmost respect. I know that this is a big fight, and suffered an injury. I know that he really was ready for this fight. No people out making videos and saying things that he was ducking. He really wasn't ready for Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence Jr. Was ready for Manny Pacquiao. I'm hearing about the sparring videos and things of that nature. He was ready for Manny Pacquiao. This is a big fight. What any young fighter would turn down a big fight with Manny Pacquiao. What fighter would turn down a big fight, against a legend like Manny Pacquiao? A very big purse, and then when you add on when you add from the gate, when you add on from the gate and the pay-per-view buys, basically what he receives from that, you add that onto his purse. We're talking about a very big payday, a lot of money, fighting a legend, an 8 division world champion like Manny Pacquiao. What fighter would pass that up? What fighter would make any type of would try to jeopardize or turn down a mega fight or a big fight with Manny Pacquiao? A fighter that's always been there, that have always been their dream. That's always been their dream, to fight against a legend, a big name, a global icon, a mega star like Manny Pacquiao. That's a fighter's dream. That's a fighter's dream. A lot of these fighters would love. It would be a blessing. It would be a blessing. They would love to fight against one of the GOATs in boxing, against a legend, 8 division world champion, against a legend, a global icon, a mega star, superstar like the legendary Manny Pacquiao. What fighter would pass that up? What fighter would reject? What fighter would do something stupid to mess up this big opportunity, to mess up this big fight? No fighter would. No fighter. A lot of fighters would chase down the Manny Pacquiao fight, especially now at the age of 42. Yeah, they'd be like, oh no, we know Pacquiao still has what it takes. He still can compete with the younger fighters. He's still very fundamentally sound. He's still elite level fighter on the highest level. A lot of experience. A legend. Been in so many different styles. A warrior. Very skilled fighter. We know what time it is when we step in there against Manny Pacquiao. But a fighter wants to be great. A fighter wants to prove himself. A fighter want that legacy fight. A fighter wants to be known as one of the best fighters in the world. You know, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Andrew Tucker, yeah, we should have been got that Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford, one of my favorite fighters in the world. And the fight still can happen. And I believe the fight eventually one day will happen between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. That's the fight I really want. You know, but the thing is, when you have an opportunity to fight a legend, to have a legend on your resume, career high payday, and fighting a legend, 8 division world champion, the only fighter only fighter, Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters of all time, the only fighter to do so, 8 division world champion, is Manny Pacquiao. This is a legacy fight, a great accomplishment. This is for legacy, for honor, for respect, to become a superstar, beating one of the greatest fighters of all time. Errol Spence Jr., he probably, you know, how he's handling the situation, how he's dealing with the situation, how he's handling the situation. You know, he's being humble. He suffered an injury. There's nothing we can do about it. But he's going to recover. I wish him a speedy recovery. But he will get the winner of Pacquiao and Ugas. You know, he will get the winner. You know, but as far as people with this foolishness, talking about he's ducking, he wasn't ready, this is an excuse. This is, you know, I understand that, you know, a lot of fights have been canceled, postponed, so I understand the desperation. I understand how us boxing fans, how a lot of us boxing fans, a lot of you boxing fans, you know, are up. You know, I know how you guys are feeling. I know you guys are upset. You know, because a lot of these big fights that we really want to see, highly anticipated matchups, highly anticipated fights are getting canceled, postponed, pushed back, or we never gonna get the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because we never know what can go on, you know, in the future, dealing with the fighter, this fighter or that fighter. You know what I mean? So I understand like how a lot of you guys are feeling right now. You know, the fights that we really want to see. You know, fights are getting canceled, postponed, pushed back. You know, I understand. And I know this is a fight that you guys like was so excited about. A big fight that you guys were so excited about. But that's okay. We're going to get Pacquiao versus Spence. But he got, as if Pacquiao gets past Ugas. If Ugas wins and beats Pacquiao, we get Spence versus Ugas. And that and three other major belts will be on the line in a unification bout. You know, and then hopefully after that we can get, you know, if Spence gets past Ugas or Ugas gets past Spence, then hopefully we can get undisputed. Terrence Bud Crawford fights the winner of that fight. Now that's the fight we really want to see. But at the end of the day, some of us really want to see one guy. Undisputed welterweight champ. Undisputed welterweight champion. Don't matter how it goes. Whether it's Ugas versus Crawford or Spence versus Crawford, even though we really want Spence versus Crawford, but if Ugas beats Spence, you know, then we get Ugas versus Crawford. At least we'll have 4 major titles on the line for undisputed. You know, but at the end of the day, I wish Errol Spence Jr. a speedy recovery. Manny Pacquiao will be up against your Dennis Ugas August the 21st. That's going to be a great fight. I know a lot of people upset. Some people ain't with this fight. A lot of people okay with this fight, because we know that Ugas is tough. We know Ugas can fight. We know he can box, and it's a good fight for Manny Pacquiao, and it's a chance for Pacquiao to get back his belt, and it's a chance for Ugas to do something great, like be the legend. You know, and this fight can most definitely define his career and take his career to a whole nother level. You know, so this is an opportunity for Dennis Ugas, and it's a chance for Manny Pacquiao to become super champion. So that way, if he gets past Ugas, we get 3 belts. Pacquiao versus Spence, 3 belts, 3 major belts on the line in a unification bout. Andrew Tucker World. That's all I got. More videos coming, more live streams are coming. But at the end of the day, man, let's start you know, showing these fighters some respect, man. You know, let's stop attacking these fighters, coming at these fighters, you know what I mean, talking about calling these fighters ducks and duckers and stuff like that. And you know, if you guys really knew the business side of boxing, if you guys really knew how boxing, you know, how boxing really work, how boxing really is, and who's over boxing, I guess it'll change your view on the way you see things. You know, change your view, and give you a different perspective on what's really going on in the sport of boxing. So you can stop saying these fighters are ducking and all of this nonsense. But Andrew Tucker World, I'm out. Much love and respect.